Let me know if you can hear me okay. And if you can hear Miss G okay. Because as you all know, she has to be a part of the stream. Oh, my knicker is a little bit heavy. Can you guys hear me okay? Yeah? G, we're not starting. It's weird because I can like see myself on my computer. Oh, I'm not looking at the chat properly. Okay, I think you can hear me because Tammy said Miss G is ready to talk. Miss G has basically not shut up since the last live last Friday. So, yes. Ah, love it. Lights, camera, action. Yes. So I'll just wait a few minutes while everyone is joining. Anyone who is a keen L word observer will notice that I'm wearing Free City. I'm super thrilled because when the original L word was on, I obviously used to go to LA all the time, and every time I would go, I'd go to the biggest Leslie hangout, Fred Siegel and the Kitson, and they had loads of Free City stuff. I always bought a ton of Free City stuff, and when I put on a load of weight, I couldn't fit it in it anymore. And this past 2 weeks, I've lost another 12 pounds, and now I can finally fit in it, so I'm super happy. And oh, Tammy said something about the connection. I think I'm lost. Ooh, maybe I should go on my computer. Is anyone having issues with the screen? If it gets buffering again, just let me know and I can switch it to my laptop. Oh, you don't hear or see me at all? Ugh. Let me see. Yes, G. Hey guys, sorry, we're just having I know some people just joined. We're just having a technical issue. If you just refresh, if there's any, because it's Friday night, it's that time that people are getting home from work and all that, so what's his voice sounds like? Okay, let me switch to my laptop. I'll be one sec, don't go anywhere. Oh no, I'm worried about closing it though. Ooh, I think it's just like a Friday night. It's bad sometimes. Still buffering. Okay. I'm gonna close the stream. I should be able to come back on it straight away. Oh, you think it's okay now? Okay. If anyone's having a major issue, just put a load of exclamation points in the chat so I'll see it straight away. But before you do that, try and just refresh the web, just hit the link again and refresh the page, and it should kind of fix it a little bit there. Sorry guys, it's just Friday. Friday night, and I do live on a island is known for being terrible with storms. So I'm so sorry about that beginning there. Hi to everyone. I hope everyone's had a good week. And L word wise, what a week. Oh my gosh, so much happened. And obviously, let's talk about it. So, any questions, any thoughts, anything you want to go over, just put it in the chat. I don't know, like, we'll slowly make it through it. But to begin with, I mean, and I think that anyone who's here probably knows what's going on. Laurel was on Pants, the podcast, on Wednesday, and it was so good. She was so brilliant. She's so sweet. It was amazing. And then Thursday night, was it Thursday? No, Wednesday night, right after Laurel had been on Pants, they released the news that Carrie had been cast, and this is the volumes are on absolute max. This is a microphone too, so it should be okay. Carrie has been cast. Rosie O'Donnell is playing Carrie, and then we also got Donald Faison and Griffin Dunne that are going to be in the show as well. Oh, thanks, Mira. Yeah, my birthday's a week on Sunday. It's right before Christmas. It's awful, but thank you. The microphone's on. I saw some people saying that the I don't know whether like the volume's on like absolute max. Let me see if this is any better without the cover on it. Okay, so Nancy said opinions on Rosie. I like, as I said in the video, we knew this was coming. Like, we knew that this is the way they were going with, you know, Tina coming back in season 1 and the mention that she was engaged and blah blah blah. So I've said from the very beginning I didn't want it to be Carrie to be someone exactly like that, because then it wouldn't, I mean, obviously I wish they didn't split up like that. I think everyone knows that about me. So the fact that Tina, like, that, remember that conversation that Bet and Shane had when they were like sitting on the floor and smoking, and oh, I'm Striker. You're normally good with the volume, Striker. You normally tell me, so I'm glad it's better now. But the thing with Carrie that like the Shane and Bet conversation alluded to was that Tina was the one who initiated the divorce, or maybe they were in, you know, not in a great place, but it was Tina, maybe she didn't physically do anything, but it was her falling for someone else. So there would have been no reason for her to fall for someone else if this person wasn't very, very different from Bet and giving her something different. So there's like two ways they can play it. They can either play it with, you know, Rosie is very, even though she's like a public defender and like that's, you know, you have to be pretty smart and confident to do a role like that. So I just, either Rosie's gonna be like very like look after Tina, very the type A, the alpha, or maybe like Rosie's like that in her job, but then in a relationship, like Tina's the alpha. So let me see what some people are saying. Molly, we were talking today in a GC thinking that Angie might want to meet her donor in coming seasons, which is why Bet is going back into the art world. But just a thought. I don't know. Maybe because I would assume that Bet and Tina have been like open about the fact that it was Marcus Allenwood was the name of the donor, wasn't it? Because even just like straight people I know that have kids that are adopted, like my first girlfriend, her sister was adopted, and her parents were lawyers and really smart, and they were told like you should always be open about, which I think is pretty much everyone can deduce that, but that you should be open about the fact that your child is adopted and they came to you in this special way. And I know it's slightly different here because obviously like Tina's her biological mother, but I'm sure that they will have been open about that fact. I think it makes sense to have Bet go back into the art world because that's what she knows, that's what she's passionate about. She's very obviously well established in the art world, so I think that it's and they always provided, like in the original show, the art side provided such like a storyline and a drive for the character that you had obviously the first season with like all the CAC stuff, and what last season, like obviously Generation Q season one, they had the political stuff, which was a real, Bet, even though she had Felicity, it wasn't like it was a relationship going on. So Bet's job and Angie are obviously like the main things about her character. I think Tina met Carrie after divorce. Yeah, like it depends. Maybe they knew each other, and Tina like, so because maybe Tina went back to doing volunteering. Remember in season two when she got the grant from Helena and she was doing all that stuff with kids, like Rosie's a public defender, so maybe there was some sort of like that's how they knew each other, or it's LA, lesbians all knowing each other. There was one thing that a couple of people have pointed this out to me, that there was an article released yesterday by, I think it was Go magazine, and clearly Go magazine is run by straight cis white people that they clearly saw, oh, there's been this big casting and this big controversy, very savage, and by seeing that like Twitter and everything was going crazy with the Pants podcast and I mean, Laurel being on the Pants podcast and the casting, like the L word yesterday, like all the hashtags, all the posts, there was a lot going on. And because they will have wanted to capitalize on that, they quickly will have said to someone, hey, go pretend you've watched the L word, basically read a summary and put out an article so that we can get a ton of clicks and a ton of, people on our site. And whoever did this report obviously didn't watch the show or know anything about the show. And they put in the article that Rosie O'Donnell had been cast as like a love interest for Bet. So that is absolutely, that's not happening. Anyone who was worried about seeing that, no, 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 it's not happening. It's just these people didn't do their research. Yeah, Terry, I agree. I think that, I mean, we all know Jennifer Beals is amazing. She has literally been robbed of an Emmy. It clearly, the Emmys, like, I don't know whether it's homophobia or what, but well, when the original show was on it definitely was homophobia, but the fact that she hasn't been nominated is criminal. Mira, is Laurel going a guest or a full cast member? So, the impression I got last season when Tina came on and everything, we all went crazy, that Laurel and Jennifer, when they were doing all the interviews that came out the day the episode aired, Jennifer was saying, oh, I want to get Laurel back for as many episodes as I can. And I was thinking, oh, she's going to be, in a couple of episodes. But those pictures, I'll put them up afterwards if anyone hasn't seen them. But there was a time, it was before all the COVID stuff happened. So I think it was, maybe Tammy or someone will be able to tell me the exact date, but Laurel and Jennifer met on a beach, and they put all these really cute pictures on Instagram and Twitter where they're both just in really dressed like me now, really casual, and they put a cute picture of them jumping, holding hands on a beach. I really, really, really think that was Jennifer. Either she was still in LA from the L Word stuff, or she flew down especially for it, and she was put her executive producer hat on and was like, I need to get Laura Holloman back to this show for as much as possible. So I think she went, and then this whole where these pictures came and stuff is them having this discussion about Tina coming back, Laurel coming back, and probably most people here have listened to the podcast, and I mean it's clear when Jennifer was on it, Mia, Aaron Daniels, everyone, that they always described the show as lightning in a bottle, because it was. And if anybody listens to the podcast To Ellen Back that Autostrad will do, it's really, really good, and hilarious. When they have guests on, they always talk about, oh, tell us your L Word origin story. And I mean, it's rare that you find a lesbian in the community who isn't into the show, or even aware of the show, or it has some sort of I feel like everybody, when they're navigating coming out for the first time, the L Word comes into it in some shape or form. So would you, after being part of that for 6 years, and not only that, obviously they all got along, they loved the show, they loved the impact the show had, and people are still coming up to them 12 years later telling them, you changed my life, you helped me, you made this. They kept saying the word impact, and that is exactly the right word for the show. They're so right. And of course she wants to be part of that. Laurel told that really great story, well, not great, but from putting her point across, it was great, about the guy on the castle set. And it seems as though the acting, Laurel only wants to come back to the L Word, and with her kids are still fairly young, and with she's done all her shows, the shows that I'm going to, I think a couple of other people are going to, in London in the summer, and this is totally open invitation. I'm going to Laurel's show. Anyone who is a subscriber or viewer on the channel, tell me you're coming, and I want to take all you guys out to dinner so that we can just talk about the L Word and then go to Laurel's show, because I'm going to try and get an interview with her. So she obviously has time on her hands because she's already completed the show. So I think that we could get her for a lot more episodes than she was in season 1, that's for sure, because if she was going to be a full-time regular, I think they would have announced it the same way they did with Jordan Hall, but maybe they're saving it for a surprise, we don't know. So I think for now she'll stay. She'll definitely be credited. I mean, it would be crazy if she wasn't a special guest star, like Holland Taylor used to be credited. So yeah, she does live in Palm Springs. Ooh, Roz, that is my new ship. It was someone last week in the chat. I've never thought of that, but that is an excellent idea. I really, really like Gigi's definitely my favourite new character by far. Oh, Steph, you're gonna come? Oh, that's great. Anyone who obviously like no pressure if you don't want to, but if anyone who's coming, let me know. Yeah, Molly, Laurel, when she was on Pants, I mean, they recorded that, I think, 3 weeks ago, and she was talking about how everything was signed and complete, and they've been back on set since the 30th, so they've been filming for like 2 weeks basically, or is it 3 weeks now? Gosh, the days are going by so fast. 2 weeks, yeah. But I have another piece of news. Whenever Laura was on Pants, I had a video, or because on Tuesday I filmed a video already, and it was still when people were speculating that Laura was going to be on Pants. And even in the video, I said, if Laura's on Pants, like, I'll push this video. So I have a video sitting there ready to release, which will probably be tomorrow's video. It's a season 4 review. And because Laura was on Pants, I did the video that day, and then the stuff with Rosie happened, so I pushed it another day. But I was talking to someone who knows someone who knows someone, like it's quite a long thing, and they are a camera operator on season 2, and apparently they are contracted and working on the show for 8 months. And I mean, it's not like they're an editor or something where you can see that because of like editing and getting the episode ready. Like, they're a camera operator. Knows how long their work contract is. I trust the information and I trust the people who told me. So that makes me think, like, are COVID procedures and stuff making them film for 8 months, or are they filming season 2 and season 3 back to back? But surely they would have announced that, because the original show, the first season, they renewed it straight away, like after I think episode 2 or 3, and then season 3 was renewed the day after season 2 premiered. So obviously I'm just speculating on the season 2 and 3 thing, but I don't see any other reason why someone would be contracted for 8 months, because there's only 10 episodes. Surely it can't take 8 months to, there's no way. The other L Word used to have 12 episodes and they filmed it in 4 months. T Christian, I wish they would cast me as Bet's love interest. I am first in that line. Someone on I think it was Cassie yesterday on my channel, I keep saying I am available for casting needs on the L Word if they need it. It was clear through what Laura was saying that the L Word was great family experience for all the actors, and Gen Q looks like it's been similar for the new team too. Yeah, I totally agree. They seem to have a great time, and everyone seems to get along so well. So that show, it must be so amazing to work on that show, especially like people like Alicia and Kate, like, you know, that are gay. I mean, it's great for everyone, but to be a lesbian and to be making the L Word, like, talk about dream come true. Oh, sorry, Helen, that you had an issue there. Savage, Jennifer Beals and Laura Holloman are the best. I love them together on the beach. It was wonderful. Yeah, I mean, you're in good company here, Savage. Not everyone, but 90% of my channel, I think, likes Bandita. the best. There's just nothing like them. Yeah, and Ness, that's true about the storylines are going to be good because Laurel and Rosie wouldn't have signed them. Yeah, Laurel's not going to come back to do, some boring something. Like she's gonna make it worth her while. And Rosie's at that stage where, she's older now. She's really like picky about what she does. So I'm sure it's a good story. Yeah, about Laurel. Yeah, thanks, Shiki. Tibet's therapist. They please do not bring back that Dan Foxworthy because that was really hard for me to believe. Like there's no way that a lesbian couple would go to him. And when they were saying like he knows us better than anyone, I was like, I think Shane would be a better therapist for you. If Laurel were full time, they'd have to have her interact with Carrie a lot. Don't think they want to do that. Yeah, and Judith, you're right because Rosie last week when I announced that Rosie was going to guest star, I watched the entire because it was Rosie that broke it. Like it wasn't any media sources, and she was talking about like her next couple of jobs, and she's doing something now, and then she's doing the L Word, and she said in January, and then she has another show after the L Word that is airing in September. So she must only be shooting for like a month. So I think she's only going to be in two, absolute max 3 episodes. Has Maya been recast? I don't think so. No, I honestly think that they weren't planning on bringing Maya back. The showrunner kind of made it sound as though Maya was just this sort of presence to be, look, Bet is dating someone else and going out in that, oh my god, killer, amazing dress. I do not know how Jennifer Beals like keeps getting better looking, but I don't think they intended Bet to like have a relationship with Maya and then when we come back in season 2 she's with her. I think it was just kind of representing this moment of Bet like picking herself up again and moving on and moving forward with someone else. And this person, we'll see who they are. Storyline could be a great ride with Carrie as long as T and B get back together. Okay, so I'm gonna try and remember where I am spot wise. Sorry, it's I want to make sure that I answer everyone, but so let me leave. Okay, storyline could be great ride with Carrie as long as Bet and Tina get back together forever in the end. So let's talk about that a little bit. This is obviously my opinion, and they keep floating this. This is a co-parenting storyline. That's all we're doing. Blah 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 blah. So, if I talked about this in my video too, if you remember last season, Laurel Holloman is retired. She's not coming back. She's an artist now. She doesn't do acting. Tina's not coming back. Blah 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 blah. What happened? Tina came back. So I think they're obviously telling everyone to spout this line, the same thing that they did in the original show, even to the extent of they used to always say Leisha Haley is the only gay cast member. Like everybody says like a very similar line, and that's because they all are under contract that you cannot say this, you cannot take pictures, you cannot, be Instagram friends with this person, and because we're the L Word fans are pretty smart people. And we will go and dig and search and everything. And it was why like back before Tina's episode aired, like a lot of the newer cast didn't follow Laura Holloman, and everybody was like, why are they there? And there's a reason for that. It's because they don't want to make it seem like, oh, they all met Laura Holloman on set and then they started following each other. So there's people that literally are paid to think about all this stuff. So I think there is a huge chance that they're spouting this. Okay, all we're doing is co-parenting, and we may start the beginning of Bet and Tina getting back together. And I also think that that is more likely to happen as well, because if Carrie was going to be around for a long time and her and Tina were going to get married and she was going to be this presence on the show, there is no way they would have done a stunt casting, which is what they did with Rosie O'Donnell, because one, it's someone who's well known, who is gay and everything. And what happened when they announced it? Like, Twitter went crazy, everything went, well, lesbian Twitter went crazy, everything went wild. So when they do these castings, like, that's exactly what they want. Like, that's why when it came out, that's why the L Word, their own account, tweeted it, because they are like, oh, we'll take some views and clicks. So by having Rosie on the show, I think it actually works out good, because she's only going to be in a few episodes, and someone like Rosie O'Donnell doesn't even live in California. She lives on the other side of the country, so it's clear that she's not going to be coming back and forth all the time. So maybe Tina and Carrie show up in LA, and by the end of, I don't know, the one or two episodes she's in, Carrie's packing her bags and going back. Do you think they will give us a teaser episode like Euphoria have done because of the length of time between season 1 and 2? I don't think we'll get an entire episode, because they only have 10 episodes and it's a Showtime show too. And I can't remember, is Euphoria HBO, I think? But absolutely what they'll do. Remember last year, especially the last couple of episodes, they would release those, I mean, like obviously normal trailers, but they would release those really long clips. I think that we'll get a lot more of them. And even last year, we got the very first trailer, you know, where like Shane's walking down the jet stairs and stuff, the private jet stairs. They will, like, I wouldn't be surprised if we get a trailer next month, because it's been so long. So they want everyone hyped. They want us talking about the show. That, you know, so they will, even if they've only got, you know, December of footage, they will clip something together. It'll be a short one. It'll only be probably like 30 or 40 seconds, but they'll clip something together with new footage, and then you'll see very like maybe some of the really cut scenes, or like the B-roll will be from last season, and then they'll have like loads of new stuff too, just because they'll want to get like, the Elwood's coming back, it's been a really long time, but you know, it's coming. So, and then as time goes on, probably like every month after like February onwards, we'll start getting a longer and longer trailer. And then probably like the end of February, very beginning of March, I think that they'll give us a, you know, either coming summer 2021, blah blah blah, and then as we get a little bit closer, finally give us a date, and I hope that is soon. Yeah, Judith, I think there will be. I know I'm a bit behind in the chat. that Carrie and Bet, there'll be a lot of interactions. Oh yeah, Molly, I have there's another, I've put scripts on. If you go back in some of my old videos, there's ones that in the title it says like leak script, because the first episode they had a bit more of a Tina scene and stuff. It's a little bit different to the Angie and Bet scene we saw in episode 1. It's in one of my older videos, and it's got like a thumbnail with Bet and Tina kissing, and it says leaked L word script, if you guys want to check that out. Yes, Brenda, I agree. More storyline for Gigi. Oh my gosh. I mean, obviously Jennifer Beals is my number one, but Safida, the actress that plays Gigi, she is gorgeous. Shock. The storylines will be extra great this season because they're hoping and thinking ahead for another season. I really hope so. I mean, and they've had all this time to write and perfect everything, so I'm really hoping that it's awesome. Kate didn't sound like a Tibet shipper on pants. I think the way she said it though, she was like, "Trust me, a lot of people care what happens to Bet and Tina." But I think Leisha is a Tibet fan. Chicky, unpopular opinion maybe, but some people say Bet needs to win Tina back, needs to go after Tina, but we don't know enough about what Bet did. I honestly don't. I mean, Bet's gonna bet. That's probably what happened, because Tina, it seems as though Tina initiated the divorce, whether it be because her feelings for someone else. I think that, I mean, personally, if I was writing the show, where we left them in season 6, I've said this so many times, that they were in a completely different place. Like, Bet had made room for Tina, they were working together, even in the last episodes, and some of they were just completely different. And for them to act as though once the show ended they just hit this rewind and went back to the whole season 1, Tina picking up her dry cleaning and stuff, I just don't buy it. And I just think they need to explain more about what's gone on, because we basically know nothing that's happened in the last 12 years apart from they got divorced, Kit passed away, Tina moved, Tina got engaged to someone else. There's really, really not a lot. And at some stage Shane moved away, and at some stage Alice and Tasha broke up, and that's it. That's all we know. Series 2 has to be a lot better to get Series 3. It all depends on the viewers and about Showtime. But I think there's a good, oh my gosh, I'm really behind in the chats. I'm so sorry, I need to hurry up. Yeah, Bet was a lot more mellow in season 2, because she's older and wiser. They were talking about this on to Ellen Back. I was listening to older ones, and they're saying when I first watched The L Word and then when I rewatch it now, there's 13 years difference between me watching it. And obviously when I first watched the show, I was in love with my first girlfriend, and I've had all this time and experience, and it's the exact same thing for the characters. They've grown, learned, they've had more relationships. Bet's calmed down a bit. I am a lot calmer than I was when I was
2021. Um, Ness, no, I don't think that Angie and Carrie will really have a lot of difficulties. I don't think Carrie will have had a lot of interaction with Angie because they've been living away. Just read it. I was saying that before. I mean, through like a series of other people, I know someone that is working on the show as a camera operator, and they have been contracted for 8 months of work. So to me, that sounds like season 2 and season 3 are being filmed back to back. And the person, I trust the information where it's come from. I've seen it with my own eyes. It's it's a contract of work. It's not like someone's opinion or like a no. Like it's 8 months this person is working on the L Word for. So I wouldn't be shocked if they're filming season 2 and 3 back to back, because if the original, like there was no COVID, I think they would have filmed over the summer, and then this would be them going back to film season 3 in January, because they wouldn't have rushed back to film it in December. They only have to do that now because they want to get it out as soon as possible. Roz, I think Mercedes Mason, it's not confirmed like in media and stuff, but I think she is due to come back, but I haven't seen her say anything. The only reason she might not is because I think they're giving Tess a lot more of a storyline, which I think is, I really like Tess. I think she's one of the good new characters, and I'd like to see more about her addiction and all that. Like I'd be interested in seeing some stuff about that as opposed to, you know, and her girlfriend meth stuff that was going on. Yeah, there's not a lot of information out about Generation Q. A lot of the things that I've heard is through like people who are related to the show in some way. Yeah, Terry, that's right. Rosie doesn't work a ton because of her health, and well, but she used to, her kids. I think she only has one kid at home now. Yeah, Savage. Angie wants to let Mama T marry Carrie. No way she wants Mama B and Mama T back together. I I think that, like, you know, that whole scene where they go and they shout like Bet and Angie. Angie's like, "Oh, the new love of your life" and stuff. I think she was just trying to make Bet feel better. I mean, pretty much. I mean, the large majority of kids whose parents split up want them to be together, and I mean, she's probably seen them at their best and their worst. So Ness said, I agree, Molly wants it to be for a good reason, not an affair, like Bet rescues Tina from a bad situation. Or something happens with Angelica to bring Bet and Tina back together. Yeah, I'm pretty confident in saying there won't be any affair, because when the original show was on, Jennifer Beals and Laura Holloman, like, they were very, very involved in the show and the storylines. And I said this in my video the other day. Originally, but Gloria, look, you're on camera. Apologies about her having a bath in front of you all. But originally, Bet and Tina was, Bet was supposed to cheat with the plumber, and then they were supposed to split up, and that was it. They were never ever supposed to get back together, and it was only because of the fans and everyone, loving them and the reaction. Because when they came back for season two, like Tina wasn't even originally supposed to be pregnant. They only wrote that into the show because of Laura Holloman being pregnant. And then all the stuff with Tina, like season three, Jennifer Beals and Laura Holloman, like hated all that stuff. And they were the ones that really, really, really pushed Eileen to put them back together. And I've been using a picture lately with like Bet and Tina written on a window, like the way you do with your finger. And that picture is from Jennifer Beals' book. She did it on like a cab. And they're huge fans of Bet and Tina, and they've been very outspoken saying in season five, we were kind of annoyed that they got back together via an affair because we think Bet and Tina should be together, but they were like, that was what we would change. We would have Bet clean, break with Jodie, and then go back to Tina. So it could be they're gonna they're fixing a lot of sins from the past L Word. So maybe with this whole Carrie thing, they're setting it up so that we see Tina's with someone else, could have an affair, but they're not. They're gonna do the right thing, and Tina's gonna break up with Carrie, and then that's gonna go back with Tina. Mira, I'm a straight woman and I'm a huge Jennifer Beals fan. Love Jennifer Beals. I am a gay woman and I love Jennifer Beals. I think I always talk about Mira on my channel. I have two sisters. I'm the oldest. My middle sister, she doesn't watch the show, but my younger sister, all her friends are lesbians, and like obviously I'm gay, and she's like an honorary lesbian. She loves the L Word, but she's married to like a big 6'6" football player. My dad actually today, I was talking to him about doing the live tonight, and we ended up talking like, oh, he asked me, he was like, so what happens with Ellen, like as if Ellen is like my friend. And I was telling him like about the employee stuff and blah blah blah, and we ended up talking about when I came out, and he said there's pictures from that day where they like went to the zoo, and like my mum and my sister are talking behind in the pictures, and my dad was like, anytime I look at those pictures I always think, oh yes, these were taken on Ashley's gay day. I was like, oh my god, dad. And then I was talking about, oh, I'm doing the live tonight, blah blah blah, and he was like, oh yes, to talk about your wife, the flash dance woman, Jennifer Beals. I was like, oh my gosh, dad, even my dad even knows who she is. Oh yeah, Mira, I'm so glad you found the channel. There's been a few people, new people lately, and gee, excuse me, and it I just you guys are just so good to me. There's nothing more I love in this world than doing this channel and talking L Word with you guys. Honestly, it's so great. Ross, it would make sense to put Gigi and Danny together. Danny is a breakup, and Gigi probably as well. After Nat and Alice, and with COVID, they're limited on cast and people. That is a really good point. Yeah, I didn't think about that, Ross, about like them being limited with COVID, but yeah, I think I do. Out of like all the new people, I really like Gigi. I really like Danny. I really like Tess. I do have a soft spot for Finley. I'm not sold on Sophie, but what's your opinion, G? Yeah, Gloriana bet is wiser now. Hopefully, that's hopefully why she's not gonna have this thing with Downey. Striker, I just realised Angie never really mentions Carrie at all in season one of Gen Q. Does Angie only know about Carrie or does she know her? Yeah, I mean, it doesn't seem like she really does know her a lot because remember when they had well, I'm sure everyone remembers because it's like a scar in my heart of when Tina told Bet that she was engaged, and then Tina was like, "Oh, you know, it would be not weird at all, but yeah, it would be super weird if you would tell Angie with Carrie and and I just think that's odd, but that makes me think Angie must not know Carrie super well because Tina's like calling in reinforcements with Bet. So, and I think it's weird we didn't see that scene because why talk about it then? It just didn't make sense. Yeah, Mira, I don't know whether it does make sense to do season two and three together totally because even like on shows like the L Word, so like Alice's show and all like even in the original Bet and Tina's house, they're all on sound stages. Bet and Tina's pool, it's only like this is in the original, obviously. I think 3 feet deep. So when anyone's in that pool, they're all on their knees, and the pilot was filmed in a real house with like a real pool because Shane dives in, but all the rest is shot on sound stages, and all those sets like they take a long, long time to be unpacked, to be done, to get everything, to get everyone. They'll be testing people all the time, especially for COVID too. There'll be like crazy stuff that they'll be setting up and all these things that they're minute and on screen for 2 seconds, but people having to go and get everything like organized and ready, it totally makes sense to do season two and three together, especially because they're quite behind now. I noticed that they started camera work in the middle of November. They actually started pre-production in the beginning of November. They it's stuff like all the tests they have to do, like I was just saying, getting all the sets out, making sure that they people like that work on the crew and stuff, not like all the wardrobe people, all the hair people, everything, makeup, they all have to go through the script and see, okay, we need this outfit, that, blah, blah, blah. But also, like, there's people who work on the set and it'll say things like, Bet throws a tennis ball against the wall and they have to go and get all these things. And so they're looking at scripts, weeks and weeks in advance, and then when it is that time script, then they have to go and get all the stuff, and then sometimes showing actors how to do it and all these other things, and like driving, and there's so much that goes into it. It's crazy. Ness, so do you reckon it will be arguments between Tina and Bet over how much parenting rights Carrie has? No, I don't think that there'll be. I can't imagine there's any arguments about that because if Angie was like 4, then yeah, but Angie's like 16, gonna be 17. That just does, like, I always tell you guys, my brother, who he's 19 now, but like my mum died when he was quite young, and my mum had like a lot of mental health things before too, so my brother has always been like my child, and in 2018 my dad got remarried, and he got remarried to a woman who is only a little bit older than me, and my brother was 16 at the time, and yes, like, she is involved a little bit, but it's my dad and I who do the parenting. And it's like, okay, so when COVID happened, when the Isle of Man like came because we haven't had COVID for 7 months. And when originally like they started letting people do things again and they relaxed social distancing, my dad was like, my brother wanted to go to his friend's house because it was when they said, okay, you can, go back to your normal lives basically. And my dad basically said to me like, oh, like, are you okay with this? And blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, that's fine. Like, as long as they're following the rules, that's fine. And my dad will ask me, no, I mean, he brings her in on stuff, but if I say no and she says yes, the answer is no. It makes sense to film season. Yeah, it's because of the COVID stuff, and then also they season 2 should wrap like early March, and then there's like post production stuff because even though the actors might wrap like, I don't know, I'm just picking a random date like the 10th of March, then there'll be reshoots, like, because they'll go back and look at, okay, put together the episode. Ooh, actually, I'd really want another angle on this shot, or like when we go to scenes and they're like outside Dana's and stuff, they call that like B-roll. So they'll have to probably go. I mean, hopefully they've been doing it concurrent with the show, but it may be a case of, oh, there's a truck that comes past and you don't see the sign properly, go and, reshoot some stuff. So 8 months is a long. Abe, 8 months is a long time, but it was confirmed that Showtime gave. Yo, yeah. They've it's 10 episodes, but I'm just saying I know someone who works as a camera operator and there for 8 months. So Showtime hasn't said anything yet, but do you think that Tina and Carrie will tell Angie as Tina requested this could be the... Oh, Judith, they already told Angie because in the last episode, in episode 8, even though Tina isn't in it, sometime between episode... Oh, sorry. Sometime between episode 7 and episode 8, either Tina and Carrie told Angie, or Tina told Angie, or Tina and Carrie told Angie, because Angie knows in episode 8. Oh yeah, Miss G, I swear she knows when she's on camera, Helen. She's like, I'm gonna get up here, front and center. Yeah, Ness Carrie's. This is what I was saying before. I don't think like Carrie's gonna be doing any parenting because like Angie's not her kid. Like it'll be like Bet and Tina. Like I'm sure they'll bring Carrie in the loop, but like she's not gonna be actively parenting. It'd be different if she was like a young kid because obviously then like there's a lot more to do. But like when a kid's like 16, 17, you can have like an adult conversation with them. Oh, Jacques, how far is the writing finalized when they start shooting? I mean, all the storylines fully fleshed out from start to finish. So normally, like last year, when they start filming, the first episode when they started filming, they'd only written episodes 1, 2, 3, and 4. So they were still actively writing it. But the way that a show like Elwood operates is that they have the whole set of writers, and then they will say they'll divvy up the 10 episodes for season 2 and say, okay, you're writing this, you're writing this, you're writing this, and they give them main points of, okay, in this episode, we need 3 group scenes between Bet and Tina, Alice and Shane, where these things are discussed, and this is the main story of the episode. Then they know the whole arc of the season, and then they'll write like a rough script based on like all these broad concepts and the whole overarching season storyline. But then once that rough draft is done, then they'll all sit in the writers' room and like punch it up. So they'll like someone will do a second pass on it, and then they'll like say there's a line that is a bit, just flat and generic. Like other writers will then offer in their opinions, and they like punch up the whole script, and then it will go through like the editing process, and then probably Marja, who's the showrunner, will have the last pass, or another senior writer, just depending on how busy Marja is. Because if, say, it's the person writing episode 2 and Marja's written episode 1, she will be like on the set with the director, actively involved in the shooting. And when when the writer and director of that episode, like, they will be on set, they will be there, because on the day sometimes there's things that like don't work, like, or it just doesn't work, or the actor get, not all shows do this, but shows like the L Word, where the cast is like very involved and some of the cast members are executive producers, they'll offer like their opinions. And the other thing is, Jennifer Beals, Kay, and Leisha and Laurel have played these characters for a really long time. Like, they know them really well. So maybe a writer will write something in, or a scene or something, and the actors, especially like real professionals like they are, like Jennifer Beals and Laura Holloman, they'll say, no, this doesn't feel right. Like, Bet wouldn't do this, Tina wouldn't do this. Or even like preferences and things, if there's something, like, I'm just trying to think of like some weird manner, like about Bet, if somebody talks about going silent retreat, like, character would just be like polite and be like, oh, okay, but Bet would maybe have some sort of reaction because of the past, and like maybe an average writer wouldn't know that. So it's quite a long process, and there's an extra kind of step in the L Word, because the actors are such a wealth of information and able to help you along with things like that. And then once the episode's shot, and there's also things that can happen on set where, like in the scene in season 5, episode 4, Let's Get This Party Started, where Bet and Tina kiss in the back of She-Bar, that when Bet like breaks down crying, that was unscripted. Like, Jennifer Beals said she felt like that was what was called for in the moment. So there's things that happen like that all the time too. Oh, cheeky, my dad. I'll tell my dad that you think he's funny. He he really wants to come on my channel. And he said, like, sometimes he'll tell me something, he's like, you can tell the people on your channel that. Like, it's like you're all at my house. Oh, hello to Henry Whiskerton. Oh, does he hear Gloria? Sometimes when I record my videos and she makes a noise in the video, and then I'm like editing it, and she hears it, she's like, oh yeah, Mira, I think I remember you saying that you lived in LA. When the stay-at-home order came out, I read the entire thing, because I was like, they are not stopping filming. So I like made sure that the everything's still filming. Even I saw they're remaking She's All That. They're remaking it He's All That. And I saw they were filming somewhere like really public. I think it was, this was it. They ended up closing a testing center to film it, and it was like, is that really XV Law XV Laurel, when she was on they said, I know everyone wants to bet, but does Laurel even want to do the L word full time? We haven't got any news that she is going to be a series lead, like all of the other OGs, because Jordan Hull, who plays Angie, was bumped up to one. But I mean, from Pant's podcast, like, Laurel was very open about the fact that she does want to come back to the show and everything, but it does seem as though it's like all the balls are in her court. She's obviously the one that's going to say, "Hey, I'm going to come back for this amount of episodes." Da, da, da. So they'll have worked the whole thing out with whatever Laurel's schedule and things are. So she'll be the one like completely in control. But she definitely said she wants to come back, because last year, if she didn't want to come back, it was a totally easy out for her. All she had to say was, "Hey guys, I have like this incredibly successful painting career, so bye." So I don't think she would have come back unless she really, really wanted to. Yeah, Ness, I have said this so many times too that. Oh, hang on, I lost the comment. Sorry. Ness said, Tina so would have gone to Kit's funeral. Maybe Bet wasn't feeling it to get back with Tina then. Tina was never a selfish character, but Maja seems to want her to be that way. Yeah, I've said this a million times that, like, I think that the showrunner is, I mean, it's a difficult job. No matter what, like, I think everyone can agree it's a very difficult job. And the other thing is, like, we don't know what's coming with season 2 and onwards. So with only 8 episodes, like, I don't feel as though I can fully judge the work or anything like that, because we've only seen 8 episodes. And if, this is all going somewhere, this is all going towards Bette and Tina getting back together and all the other storylines that are going on, then she, like, she's providing some drama and interest, because even though I know a lot of us, like, would still be 100% invested in the show and the couple if they were just always together in a solid relationship, but a lot of people like all that drama, will they, won't they, Ross and Rachel stuff. So I think that the one thing they did slip up on majorly is that point about Tina not going to Kit's funeral. And one, I think it was a complete, like, that it didn't make sense for the character. Like, we've known the character for a really long time. It made no sense that she didn't go. She knew Kit for, like, what, over 20 years. She was her daughter's only aunt, because Tina is the one character that we have never got any backstory on, apart from a snippet in those terrible interrogation tapes, which I'm doing a video on next week, so hold on to your hats for that whole mess. But Tina, its family never comes in. We know Bet's only sister is Kit, so why would you not go at least to support your daughter? I mean, I cannot imagine putting it into like my family members or something, like it just would never happen. So I think that they really made a mistake there. And on the side of, dealing with fans who are so, like, this isn't just a regular show to us, like this is such a big deal, and to be the only like real, or like cast are all, or characters are all gay, and it's so rare to have this show. We've never had the same thing happen since the original. This is a really important show in regards to representation and impact, because that is so important. I talk about this all the time on my channel, and they just they gave people ammunition to say Generation Q is not good, because they're not respecting the core of the characters. So I really think, like, obviously I think it was bad in a storytelling device because it didn't make sense for the character, and I think it was bad in the sense that they were setting themselves up to fail, because it gave people just the ammunition to say, oh, I don't like this writing. So, oh, thanks, Mira. Yeah, my brother is like my son. And yeah, my mom looked exactly like Princess Diana. People used to tell her all the time. She, even like when I was a kid, she had the exact same haircut as her and stuff. But yeah, my mom was a very interesting person. And she was a very good-hearted person too. Oh, Jacques. I know that when Jennifer and Laurel together asked Eileen for Bet and Tina to be happy together, Eileen's response was that viewers get. Oh, I don't know where the rest of it is. Yeah, Jen. Totally exactly what I said. Tina not showing at the funeral, not believable at all. Totally out of character. Yeah, you nailed it, Jen. Savage. I think Laura Holloman is coming back for good. Yeah, I mean, what I was saying before, I think that she's going to be involved for the rest of the show, for sure. Terry, did anyone else read Eileen is going to be the showrunner for CSI next year? Wonder if she won't be as involved in the older Generation Q. So with Eileen, the only reason she's not the showrunner of Gen Q is because she has an exclusive deal with Fox. So when they've been trying to get the L Word back for a long time, a number of years, and do you remember they did that Entertainment Weekly? What did my sister say? My sister's text message starts, I know you're on live, but so yeah, these, remember that photo shoot where they're all like in the black dresses? Laura Holman wasn't in it though. So that's when they started, I think it was 2017, that they were trying to get the show back, and they had meetings at Showtime and yada yada yada, and Eileen just couldn't officially, like, she can't be contracted with anyone else but Fox right now. So that's why she gave the showrunner position to someone else. But obviously she still gets a credit as like the creator, because I mean, no matter what, like the people who created Superman still get the Superman creator credit. So I think that on paper Eileen's not really involved, because just that's the way her contract is with Fox, but she has a lot to do with the show, and I think that also she's worked with I mean, Kate and Leisha too, but especially Jennifer Beals and her are very close. They're doing that Seven Brides movie, I think, together, but they are very, very close. And I think Jennifer is kind of Eileen's proxy, and Jennifer knows Eileen and her work and what she would do and things. So I think that Jennifer Beals is like one of the driving forces of Generation Q. Like, she's the lead of the show, she's an executive producer, but she has a lot of influence, and she's a very smart and talented woman. So of course people are going to listen to her opinion. But yeah, she did get that CSI job too, Eileen. Oh, Ness, you're talking about. I think I remember you saying that before. Yeah, it's my dad's wife is only like a few years older than me, and she's a very difficult person. Ugh, she went to Thailand today for like 3 months though, so. Shock, Eileen. Eileen's response was that viewers turn. Oh, sorry, this is the rest of it, is it? Eileen's response was that viewers turn off when everything is happily ever after, and also she has an obligation to tell lots of stories. Yeah, this is what I was getting at before. You know, I'm pretty confident saying I'm sure a lot of people on here have seen Friends, and if Ross and Rachel had stayed together from, I think they first got together in season 3, would people have been as invested in season 10? So, I mean, the other thing is keeping keeping Bet and Tina apart, and keeping this kind of will they, won't they, what's going on with them. That, people are going to keep tuning in to see what's going on. But I mean, can you imagine? Well, I can't imagine because it happened about 12 years ago when Bet and Tina got back together in season 5 episode where they kissed. Like, I don't know how many of y'all were around then, but it was crazy. Like, and this is before social media. Like, I think I had Facebook, but it was like very, very primitive Facebook, and you had to have a university email address. So it like, I think I probably had like 3 other lesbians on it. Like, there wasn't social media. Texting was like flip phones and stuff, and it still was crazy. I remember going to like all the L Word premiere parties and watch parties, and it was like insane when Bet and Tina got back together. Everyone was so happy. It like message boards, all the like After Ellen, Autostraddle, all those sites were going crazy, and people were so interested. The viewership went like skyrocketed, and I've talked about this a little bit before on my own channel. Like, I see it. If I So I've been releasing the videos every day for Christmas, and when I released, and I know like when you're releasing videos every day, like it's a lot. So some people can't, take the time to watch a video every day. They're busy. But the day that I released the one about Laurel, immediately out of all my Christmas ones, it had like double the amount of viewers that were watching the other ones. And then the casting one, because it's a Bet and Tina thumbnail, it's to do with Bet and Tina, immediately double the amount of views that the other ones have got too. And like, even when I do my old reviews, if it's like a really heavy Bet and Tina episode, way more people watch it. And that's why I'm like, why is Showtime sitting with this TV gold and not doing anything? It's crazy. So maybe there is like I said before, maybe there is some master plan. Maybe they are building towards the big reunion, and I'm not gonna lie, like, Gloria, can you shush? If they came back and they were still together and still happy and still season 6 wasn't great, but the Bet and Tina stuff was great. Bet and Tina, I would have been happy. But imagine if they, after like this first season, and we didn't even think we were getting Tina back. Like, do you remember that feeling when Tina was on the episode? Like, I've said this before, this is the reason this channel exists. And just imagine if season 2 finale is exactly like the scene in Let's Get This Party Started. And Gloria, can you shush? And Bet and Tina get back together. Like, it would be amazing. Glory. She's having a strop. Go and eat your food. Okay, I see. Ness, what will the issue be? Will it be happy between Bet and Carrie? And then XV, Law, XV is... Okay, I'm just going to call you Law, XV, Law. Is Carrie going to be Bet's lawyer in her case against the guy she pushed down the stairs? Lol. That would actually be funny. Oh, that would be funny. But I haven't really talked about the Bet and Carrie stuff, I guess, so we can talk about that now. I think I'm getting close to catching up on the messages too. Let me just make sure that I leave myself where... Oh my god, Tammy, I just saw your message because your name's highlighting. Bring your dad on. I should bring my dad on so you guys can laugh because he is crazy. My dad is actually kind of cool too because he had the first ever e-gaming website. Like, he started e-gaming and he is a very interesting person too. But he when in like the 90s when he did his first like internet gambling thing, people always used to say to him, "You're crazy, no way anyone's gonna bet." And on the internet, no one's ever gonna use the internet. Like, he has like reports saying this. It's really funny. So, Bet and Carrie. This is what I'm actually excited for because, as we all know, and what I say daily, is Jennifer Beals is amazing. And she's been robbed from an Emmy for many years, robbed of Golden Globes. Rosie O'Donnell is a good actress. She plays a very particular type, but she's good. And I mentioned this in my video yesterday. Rosie and Jennifer were in a 1997 movie called Twilight of the Gods. So, again, Jennifer will have given her a go-ahead because there's no way Jennifer Beals would have worked with someone and she wouldn't have a say on them getting hired. Like, she will have been the person who said yes or no. And I think we're just going to get some killer Bet and Tina scenes. If anybody doesn't follow Bet and Tina House of Stir Fry on Instagram, they mostly do like picture collages of Bet and Tina and sometimes videos. The woman who runs the site, I like every so often talk to her. She's really nice and her pictures are awesome. So if you like seeing Bet and Tina pictures, go check them out. But yesterday she posted something about like, you know, the whole reaction to Rosie and things, and she'd wrote that she was excited to see Jealous Bet. And so I replied something like, "Jealous Bet is the best bet," and it's so true. Like, Jealous Bet is amazing and we're gonna get more of it. And it's just Jennifer Beals was amazing in the original L Word, but
the dinner scene, like we're just gonna get even more amazing performances. So I'm really excited for it. Striker, do you think Canada is looking good right now to the shows to shoot? They're they're filming in LA. Like there's no way they'll change it. They've gotten, so a lot of people film. It's the same where I live. Like we're a tax haven, so I've talked about on the channel before. Like when I was especially like a kid and a teenager, I used to do like a lot of movies because they shoot a lot of movies here, and it's really good money, and it's super cool because you get your makeup done and get to hang out with celebrities. So why wouldn't you? And here they have to film, I think it's 40%. Like not last year, the year before, I got to meet Kit Harington when he was here, and they were filming the movie Spooks, and I think it was they had to film at least 20% here to get the tax credit. And that's why a lot of people, like all those DC shows, all the CW shows, they all film in Canada because it's a lot cheaper in Canada. It's a lot cheaper to film there. It's a lot cheaper getting extras there. It's a lot cheaper, like equipment, crew, everything wise. So they will be budgeted by Showtime to film in LA, and I think the showrunner and like a lot of the staff, like they wouldn't have gone to Canada because like their families and all that live in LA, and the way like contracts and everything are, like there's no way a show would just, I mean the show Supergirl, they used to film in California for the first season, and then when the show got cancelled on CBS and they moved to the CW, it was insane and super complicated, and they lost Clarissa Flockhart and I can't remember his name, Peter Falcon, I think, the guy who plays um, Dr. Carlisle Cullen in Twilight. They lost, and those were like two main cast members. They lost those because they didn't want to move to Canada, and then like all the cast and crew they had to change. That's a good show. The sister who's played by Chyla Lee, who's Lexi Gray from Grey's Anatomy, she's gay in the show and she's Supergirl's sister. It's a good show. I like it. And Chyla Lee and Melissa Benoist are pretty cute too. Oh, Law, I don't think Beth's going to hate Carrie. This isn't a Helena situation. It seems like she's grown in the last 10 years. I think she'll be cordial with Carrie. No, I don't think it's... I think that it'll be more like when I say like jealous Beth, like she will be jealous, but not, yeah, I don't think that she'll have that kind of tete-a-tete that she had with Helena. I think it will be, the performance will be more like the dinner scene. Like we can tell that Beth is like, her heart is breaking. Oh my God, Tammy, I'm gonna bring my dad on. He would love it. I'm trying to get my dad's PA is like, she was his best friend before she started working for him, and she's like this really beautiful, tall, skinny, blonde woman, and she's married to a man and has two children, but she always tells me that she has this personal trainer, and she's like, oh my God, I would go so gay for, well, I'm not going to say her name, but I would go so gay for my personal trainer. Like, oh, she's so beautiful, she's so hot. And I'm like, oh my God, okay. And I've been telling her for ages to watch The L Word. So I'm going to give her my DVDs. And the other day she was like talking about how like her husband and her had this big argument. She's like, I'm just going to run away with my personal trainer to Greece. And I'm like, oh my gosh, maybe I shouldn't give you The L Word. Oh, Ness, you have two cats. I always think about getting Miss G a friend, but my sister always tells me that she thinks Miss G is an only child. Striker. A lot of tense and pause moments for Bentina scenes. Popcorn ready. Yeah. Well, when it's so funny because when the show's on, I get it a little bit early. I get it. So it airs on Sunday night. I get it US time, Eastern time, midnight, and Pacific time, 9 p.m. on Saturday. But here, that's 5 a.m. So when I started my channel, I was like, I want to be the first, like that's kind of how my channel like got viewers in the first place, because when Tina came back, I decided to start it, and that episode was the review of that episode was the first L Word video I put out, and that was, I got up at 5 a.m., watched the episode once, and then kind of rewatched like the Bet and Tina scenes as I was doing my makeup, and then I like wrote some notes, filmed a review, and then I got it up like, it must have been about noon UK time, so it was like 7 a.m. US time on the Sunday before the episode even came out, and then I put like that clip of Bet opening the door and then them talking and then the last scene, and that video now with just the clip on it has something crazy, like I think it's close to 700,000 views. It's like people still, like thousands of people watch it still every day. It's crazy. I find Rosie to be so rude in real life, so my concern is where Laurel is making time to come back, as I'm worried being. Oh, I wouldn't worry about that. No, I think that Rosie's fine. I don't think there'll be any issues or anything, and I just think that Rosie knows what she's not going to put up with any BS, and like this is their job. She's gonna go and do a professional job, and she'll only be there for a few weeks too. So OG Tina and OG Gen Q Tina, not the same at all. OG Bet and Gen Q Bet, not the same at all. Has Marja ever watched the original series? I honestly wonder. I mean, like I said before, I think that there are some issues, some things that I don't want to say messed up, but like there were characteristics of Bet, Tina, Alice, Shane that were established in the original, and they didn't follow through in Gen Q. But I think that a 1 season order of 8 episodes, it, for me, is not enough to judge the final product. Like, I want to see more. I definitely think 2 seasons is a start, but I mean, if we picked 1 season of the L Word, the original, or even if we just, only watched one season, the first season of the OG, like, you would have a completely different perception of everything. I mean, look at Helena. Helena was like one of those, like, they changed her personality chip every season. Actually, Marja was a huge fan of the original show. It was a game changer for her. This was talked about on, oh yeah, you're exactly right, Jacques. That I'm pretty confident that, I mean, Marja has to have been a fan of the original, like, no ifs, ands, or buts about it, because there's no way that Eileen, that's why the showrunner is another gay woman, and someone, I think she's the exact same age as me, or maybe she's like a year younger, but she's pretty much the same age as me. So it's someone who she watched the show probably when I did, when I was in university, and I saw this post actually on Reddit. I'm actually going to read you exactly what it says because I don't want to like paraphrase and then it's wrong. But Eileen wouldn't just hand over control of a show to someone who didn't respect the original, what it stood for, and everything. So I honestly think that there will be some method to this madness. Oh, this is it. When young lesbians call the L word problematic, as if we had a smorgasbord of woke, unproblematic lesbian TV shows to watch back then. And then they've put like a little gif that's like youths. And it's true. Like there's a lot of, like sometimes, especially on Instagram, I get like a lot of comments that are like, Matt and Tina are so toxic, or like I said this last time. There's someone that like immediately when I post a Bet and Tina post, they just put like a comment with like all these thumbs down, and I'm like, do you follow me just to tell me that you don't like Bet and Tina every time? And there's so many people that they're like, the L word this, the L word that, and it's like, I'm not saying the L word is perfect. Far from it. But is it the best thing we had? And is it the cornerstone of lesbianism? Yes. Like, it just, I don't know. I'm obviously very protective of the L word. Okay, I'm going to try and catch up a little bit more here. Ness, you've said something there about maybe Laura will have convinced. The thing is, Laurel isn't an executive producer, so her kind of, she won't have as much input as Jennifer. I think especially like with that whole beach thing, it will be more Jennifer asking to bring Laurel on board, and then I think anything like Laurel and Jennifer will discuss things, and then Jennifer will kind of, talk to Marja, talk to the writers, and do her executive producer stuff to. Chicky Ash, my biggest problem is that far right has always said same-sex marriages fail, that they cannot sustain. We needed the show to reflect Tibet as long. Yeah, no, I totally agree. And the other thing that I think I've talked about this briefly before, maybe it was in one of the lives, but they're actually, oh hey Deb, sorry I was a little late saying hey there, I'm a little bit behind in the chat, but there used, like back in the day, like way when they like film and stuff started coming out, there originally in like all these big movie studios like Paramount and TriStar, and I was before kind of Warner Brothers time, Lionsgate, all those, they used to have clauses in movie contracts that basically said, if you are showing gay characters on your screen, you need to show them getting sick, dying, something terrible happening to them, because we need to remind people that being gay, like, basically is terrible and is going to have some awful, horrendous outcome in your life. Like, those were contracted into film and television, and that is why things like lesbian characters constantly being killed off, gay characters constantly having some like horrendous illness, splitting up, like being murdered, all these things, is so, and it often happens, like a character will come out and then they're immediately killed off, or a character finally gets together with someone, like even think about Buffalo and Tara, like they finally happy together and everything, killed off. Sorry, spoiler alert for Buffy, but it's been 20 years. So it just, this is so problematic, and it's another reason why representation is so important and means so much, because there needs to, like, people need to be able to look at television and movies and see themselves actively reflected. Because like I was talking to my dad about this actually yesterday. Like when I was younger, this, like, I lived in America for all my, from 17 all my adult life, and then now the last year and a bit I've been back on the island where I went to boarding school in the UK. And even though the island's in Great Britain, it's not like ruled by the UK, like it's its own country. And when I was a kid, just before I moved here to go to school, people, it was on the books illegal to be gay. And I don't mean like it was a law that just sat there and it was, haha, can you imagine this law still exists, like how homosexuality was still classified in the DSM under mental illness until like the 70s. This was something that they never, of course, went after women, but it was something that people actively were investigated, their houses raided, and this, Gloria, and this was in the early 1990s. Like, I did not know any gay or lesbian people growing up. I, when I was in early, just before teens, like I saw Rosie O'Donnell and Ellen. That was pretty much it. And when Ellen came out, it was like she was crucified. And not that I'm defending Ellen, but that was it. And to not see anyone or anything reflected on the screen, like literally remember being around 8, 9, and thinking, oh my god, I think I'm this gay thing that like everybody talks about and says is so awful. And I remember all through like 10, 11, 12 thinking, okay, this is just something that you're just gonna have to deal with and hide through your whole life, and you can just pretend and marry some man and all this stuff. And that's because I didn't see any gay people on TV or living like happy lives. Gloria! And it's so important that people now are, Gloria! So sorry. That people are able to sit like this. And yes, like we have come a really far way, and in most countries people can get married and they have rights that are protected, and don't ask don't tell has been repealed and all these other things. But there's still a lot of work to be done, and representation in the media is one of those things that just has not come that far. The L word was on from the early 2000s, and then nothing else came after until they rebooted the L word. Like, something is wrong here and it needs to be fixed. And this is another point of why the L word is so important, and why it is so important that real people and real stories are actively reflected in the media. Because there are young kids out there now who, they are in either countries or towns or places that they don't see anyone who feels and loves like they do. So we just need to keep fighting and getting the message out and keep doing the work, because it's important, needs to be done, and we need to do the work. now I've lost my place. Oh gosh. Oh yeah, Gloriana, you're right. Like JB, so much history, so much work. She knows what she's doing. I'm so sorry, I've lost my place. I am an idiot. Okay, I think I found myself. Roz, if you do set up a group get together for Laurel's show in London, then let us know the details. Oh, of course. Like, I just want to keep saying it all the time. So, I will set up. I don't. Maybe like is Facebook probably the best one? I'll set up some sort of thing where like everyone can say they're coming, and then I'll make sure that everyone has like my WhatsApp or something, and yeah, like whatever day, I think Laurel shows on like a Saturday or Sunday. So I will get there. I think my aunt's gonna come with me. She's really cool. And um and she is like she is a badass. She's a very, very, very successful female lawyer. And she she's a trailblazer for women, that's for sure. And she'll come with me, I think. She lives in London, so I'll set it up, and then whatever day like Laurel shows on, I'll probably get there probably 2 days before, but the night before, anyone who wants to come to dinner, like I'd love to take you guys to dinner just because you've all done so much for me being on the channel, and I just love you guys. So I would just love to take you all to dinner to say thank you for being awesome. And we will go somewhere good for sure. And basically just have a real life live. Oh, Eileen. Ash, be honest, given the whole Carmen issue, do you think that Marja is so opposed to Tibet because both actresses are straight, married with children, women in real life? No, I don't think so. I think that she probably. I mean, the JB and Laurel Holloman did so much for the show. They were like the real, they were the leads. They've done a lot for the show. I'm hoping, and I think that I'd be pretty confident in saying that she's someone around the same age as me, like, came out around the same time, was in university whenever the show was coming out. I think that she probably really respects them for, because also don't forget, like we have the L Word coming out, but before, when there was Queer as Folk, they could not get like anyone Jennifer Beals caliber or anywhere close. And Jennifer Beals, she didn't audition, she was the first person to sign on to the show. And that was a big deal. Jennifer Beals is extremely well known and successful, and to sign on to the first ever like lesbian show in 2004, it just, nothing had been on television like this before. Like, she didn't know it was going to be successful. It could have been an absolute mess. So Jennifer's a great ally, and she's done a lot for this community. And just trying to put myself in Marja's shoes, I don't know, if I ever met Jennifer Beals, and I plan on kind of saying if I can get to Laurel at her show, like I have no problem like talking, as you can tell. So like my aim is to get a few questions to Laurel, but if I met Laurel but Jennifer Beals obviously is like and I only had 1 minute, all I would tell her is thank you. Like, you have done so much for me and helped me and all these things. And Jennifer always talks about the fact that like she reads a lot of the letters people send, and people come up to her in the street all the time and thank her. So I think Maja more probably feels on that side when it comes to Jennifer and Laurel. But I don't know, I'm just guessing. That's my opinion anyway. Ash, are you going to try out to be a love interest with Beth? Oh my god, that would be the dream. But I do not think that I am Elwood cast member caliber. Oh, Striker. My dad literally started e-gaming, like gambling. He had the first ever e-gaming website in 1996, 95, 96. It was originally called Offshore Betting, but then it was called Bet Internet. My brother's like an actual gamer. Like he's really into all that. My brother plays. My brother and my brother-in-law are like really into Fortnite and all that stuff. Oh, Ness, you like spooks? Yeah, they filmed the movie here, and one of the lovely ladies in my life really liked Kit Harington, and so I like organized for us to have dinner with him. Yes, Jennifer Beals' birthday is coming up because her birthday is the day before mine. That is how, you know, Jennifer and I are just really connected. Oh, hey, Sonia. No worries about being late. Glad you can make it. Oh, just quickly, were you talking about my dad's PA? Yeah, she is getting the L word for sure. I'm gonna get it for her for Christmas. I was gonna give her mine, but then I just thought, I'll give her for Christmas. She is. She actually. Do you know who I keep telling her she looks like? She looks like Paige. That's who my dad's best friend looks like. Mira, the second I read your message saying love the cat is when she just started screaming. She is an attention monster. She needs attention all the time. That's why she's so angry right now, because she's not the center of attention. Oh, the DVD. Yeah, normally, Ness, I'm normally like, if I meet someone and I'm like, oh, I can't tell. I'm like, I try and think of someone in the L word that they like look vaguely like, and I'm like, have you ever seen the show The L Word? And of course, my luck, most of the time they're like, the what? Because as I keep telling everyone, I am like the most single person on the planet. So if anyone has any eligible people for me to date, please let me know. All I want for Christmas is a girlfriend, and I'm very open, as I don't really care about what they look like, although I do prefer a brunette, but I don't care what they look like. They need to be able to have a very intelligent conversation, and that's kind of like my only criteria. 25 to 45, 50, I don't care. Intelligent conversation, that's the criteria. Oh, Steph, I don't know whether you've gone yet, but if you haven't, bye. Oh, Twilight of the Gold. Sorry, I keep saying Twilight of the Gods. Mira, sorry. Oh, Chicky, thanks so much. I'm really glad you enjoy the chat, because I just, this is seriously like the highlight of my week. I'm like, I love when it's live day. Get to chat to you all. Oh, bye, Striker. I don't know whether you've gone, but if you haven't, bye. Oh, I hope your doggy's okay. Yeah, Jen, it drives me insane about the toxic stuff. Like, it they aren't perfect people. Like, because who is a perfect person? And all like all those Ross and Rachel, Meredith and Derek, all those people, everyone has problems and issues. So I just, yeah, Laura, I know you're right. It's gonna be so good. I just hope we get it soon. I'm like, I just remember, like, think about this time last year. We were being spoiled getting it every Sunday. Oh, Ness, I'm glad. I knew you'd love Grey's. It's so good. And I mean, as I've said many times, Jennifer Beals is the love of my life, but Jessica Capshaw is a very close second. She's gorgeous. And yeah, I love Callie, like Sarah Ramirez too. She's really cool. They're really cool. Oh, Charlene and Nate. I never watched Neighbours. I think I I feel like there was like a lesbian character in like a Coronation Street or something, but they were probably like a murderer or something. I'm trying to think what other, because there just was like nothing. I knew I was gay. Oh, sorry, low thing. I knew I was gay when I was like 8 and I went to go see Jurassic Park at the cinema. It was like the first real movie I saw in the cinema, and I remember thinking, Dr. Ellie Sadler, the one with the orange shirt, she was my girl. And like all my friends, like my dad now, if she's in like any, like Laura Dern, if she's in any movies or anything, my dad's always like, "Oh, your woman's in this. Your lady." It's like when he sees Jennifer Beals in anything, he's like, "Oh, your woman, you're the one that you like." I'm like, "Oh no, I lost my place again." Oh no, I lost my. I found it. Um, oh, Miss Gloria, yeah, she just wants attention. She wants all you guys, all eyes on her. Yeah, Law, I did think that about Shane was a bit rude to Tess when, when she came in and she was like, yeah, talking about the numbers and things. That's not Tess's responsibility. Like, she's an employee. And then when she was like being a bit like, oh, you and Finley are like hooking up in the back room, and it's like, didn't you just sleep with her girlfriend? So yeah. Follette, Miss G, if she's shouting for a friend, but the thing is, Miss G is terrified of her own shadow. So there's like another, like a little black cat that comes, like I'm on the second floor, like the balcony, and there's a little cat that comes on my driveway, and she just, I try and show it to her, and she gets terrified. She's also really scared of men. If she hears like a man's voice, she gets like really scared. Oh, Terry, I totally agree. JB is in it for the art, not the fame, because she is so good that she could literally go on any of these, I'm trying, like, she could go and fill all these, mini series and roles, and she could do like anything that's coming out, and all those ones that are pretty, Emmy and Golden Globe shoo-ins, but she chooses to do this, like, because it's impactful and it makes a difference. Even doing the reboot, like, she's doing it because it helps people, and she's doing it for more than like her own ego. So I really, really respect that about her, because it was the same with Flashdance. Like, after that movie, she could have gone and done all of those, like, she could have gone and been basically like Julia Roberts or something, like done all those, silly like romantic movies that are, you know, you go in for an hour and a half and turn your brain off and they make a ton of money. She could have done any of those, but she didn't. She did like actually stuff that matters. So I really respect that about her. Glory! Shush! Shh! Everyone just wants to listen to you. Glory. Okay, where am I now? Oh, hi, Roxanne. I didn't see you there saying, hi, Ash, to address the subject of the far right not knowing long term gay relationships. Oh, sugar, I lost my place. I probably have more far right friends than gay and lesbian friends. Listen, like, I don't, where I live. Shh. Come here. Come here. Come here. Sorry. Just get her to sit here so that she becomes quiet. Sorry, Roxanne. What I was saying is, where I live, like, I do not have any gay friends here at all. This is the reason I started this channel, so I could talk to some other gay people. In Tampa, like, I have a few, but I had one really, really good gay friend all through university, and like she used to come over every week to watch the L Word, and now she's in that Tony Robbins. I don't want to say cult, but kind of is. So yeah, I mean, most of my friends, I would say, are like, I mean, here it's different too. It's not really like um right and left, like it's a bit more down the middle, because we don't really have like social, like the same social issues as in the US. Like, gay marriage has been here for a really long time, and like there's just it's not really like quite the in the US. So most people, Glory, most people I'm friends with are more like down the middle. Oh yes, Tammy, you are my assistant for the Laurel the interview. Need a cameraman, and oh, Jen, are you volunteering to be photographer? Excellent. Who wants to hold the mic? Laurel Holloman will be like, what is happening? Oh no, that's my. Oh yeah, Follette. I'm I was saying to you in the comment, please pass along condolences to your daughter. Oh, it must be really hard for her. Oh, Roxanne, that's so nice that you've been with your wife for such a long time. What are you doing? You know that you cannot climb inside my body, right? There. She likes to be held like a baby. Right. Shh. Now. Yeah, for that, I'm so happy that we're getting the show back. It's just, even though like it, I mean, they've only been filming for 2 weeks. I'm just like, they're filming again. Like I love thinking about, oh my god, I wonder what they're filming right now. Like, cause they're filming right this. I mean, it might be on lunch, cause it's like 1:10 in LA. But I wonder what they're doing. Oh, Sonia, your cat's like this too. I mean, I have made her this way. I have raised her this way, but she is a demando. She like, oh my gosh, look, my car like, well, like there's a balcony right here in front of me, and then my car is like under, like half under the balcony, and sometimes like if I pulled up right now and it's dark and all the lights are off in here, this table that like my laptop is on, it's quite high, like it's probably up to like here on me, and there's like a column, and then all of this is all windows like in front of me. It's a really high vaulted ceiling, and she'll stand like right on the edge of the table, and she's like this out the window, and you just see like like the glare on her eyes. Then I open the door and all I hear is and sometimes I'll be like talking to, because like my landlord and landlady live on the other side, and like we're trying to have a conversation and she's just like screaming. Oh, Steph. Oh, Steph, you're back. Or did you go or come back? Well, I'm glad you're back. Yeah, JB doesn't. She doesn't. Gloria. She doesn't. Jennifer Beal sometimes doesn't post that much behind the scenes stuff. The newer ones, the new cast members are pretty good about it, because I think that it's like they're they're more like into social media, and I think like they think of it as more as like part of their brand and them as a whole. So I just want to check my my finger there. So I think my battery's gonna run out soon. Gee, you're being really difficult. Oh, Savage, your birthday's the 22nd? I have a really good friend who's the 22nd. You are right by the microphone, screaming in people's heads. Oh, I've lost my place again. Sorry. Oh, I saw something about Sarah Paulson there. Oh, Abe, yeah. I think we all wish that Sarah Paulson would come on the show. It's like I wish Holland Taylor would come back on the show, and then even if it was just like one scene where she's like, "Oh yeah, I'm a lesbian again now," and because she used to always say I was a lesbian in 1974 or something, and then she brought in Sarah Paulson. Like that scene where she had the guy that like didn't speak English, but it was like Sarah Paulson in that scene. Oh my gosh, it'd be so hilarious. But I think Sarah Paulson is a bit too expensive for the L Word. Yeah, Savage. I think the only thing standing in my way is that Jennifer Beals is I think she has a lot of people after her. Oh, Sonia's straight married friends introduced you to the L Word. That's so cute. When I got really into the show, like I originally watched it with my first girlfriend, and then when we broke up and when she went with someone else, a like significantly older woman who, it's a really complicated story and kind of weird, but anyway, one of my best friends in Tampa, the summer after we broke up, I was like obviously really, really like down because we'd been together for years and years, and she was like the first relationship I had, and then we were both like, my friendship group was her friendship group, and then because she kind of like she did the breakup and she did the thing wrong and all this stuff, so like all the friends like sided with me, and my friend in Tampa, like we literally stayed in like bed, sitting around like all summer in Florida watching the L Word, and just like every so often getting up, going in the pool, going back, then like having like I don't drink at all. Sorry, Gloria's hair is like flying around. I don't drink alcohol at all, and I don't smoke, but when I was going through the breakup, this was 12, like 10 years ago, so I drank and smoked then. We would like just watch the L Word go in the pool, and yeah, she still likes the show, and she's straight, married, and having a baby, so there's a lot of straight people that watch the show. I think it's really cool. Oh, thanks, Sonia. I'll tell my dad that. Yeah, Gloriana, Jennifer Beals has a no nudity clause in her contract. It's like Sarah Jessica Parker and Sex and the City, which each to their own, like, you know. And Jennifer Beals is really famous for saying, all right, what are you doing? My scenes are so hot, like you won't even notice that I still have my clothes on or something. Sonia. Sounds like Gloria said well. Oh, I've lost my place again. Oh, I think I'm getting caught up to real time. Yeah, JB is very, very private. That's why I don't like, I don't really post a lot about like the actress's private life. Like I would never post anything about their kids or like where they live or anything like that, like, because I appreciate their work and their art, and like I'm really into the show. I don't, and especially like with the channel and stuff, I don't want to like be putting that information out into the. Oh, bye, Helen. Oh, I think I'm caught up now. So, I probably will start wrapping up soon because I think my battery is going to die. Unless, if there's anything that I haven't talked about, or anything else that anyone wants to bring up about what's happened this week, and hey, what's happened this week, or I didn't really talk about the other casting. I mean, we don't really know. I think like I do like the guy who plays Turk on Scrubs. I think he'll be funny. Let me see. Because there's the one, like, Turk, I think, is on Alice's show. And then the Griffin Dunn, who's playing the person that's gonna be like the art person, with like interacting with Bet. Oh, when will my next live be? So I'll oh yeah, sorry, I've got 10% left. My next live, I will go live on Friday because that seems to be a good day for everyone and a good time. And then on the Sunday, which is my birthday, I will go live, but I'll probably only do it for like an hour that day because I'm going out to dinner with my friends, and then I'm having like lunch with my brother and my dad and my cousins and my uncle and like all the other people, my other random family members that live here. So yeah, all because I like I've talked about this about on the channel. Like I used to be really, 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 really overweight, and in the past like year and a half, I've lost like 230 pounds. That's like 15, 16 stone. And I'm kind of at the, I mean, I've got 50 pounds left to lose, which is like just under 4 stone. So I'm on like a really, really strict diet. I only have like 800 to 1,000 calories a day. And I don't eat, I eat like once a day, but it's all protein. Like I don't eat any carbs, anything. So on my birthday, I'm literally like, I really want a cupcake. And my friend she runs like she has her own bakery, but she like runs it from her house, and she does wedding cakes. She does, oh my god, the most amazing cakes and cupcakes, and at like Easter and Mother's Day and things like that, she does these like boxes that have cookies and brownies and cupcakes and everything in it. And all I want is one of her cupcakes for my birthday. Oh, it's so good. So that's what I'm looking forward to. This cupcake and doing a live and talking to you guys. The Facebook and Zoom, I mean, like, it's just, I think it's just the same as YouTube. So it's just easier to do on here because, like, I can control, like, Facebook is with, like, security and all that stuff and scammers and things. So I'm not super, you know, I think that YouTube is pretty, like, that's what I trust and, like, what I know. So. Oh, thanks so much, Chicky. Oh, Jack, have a good weekend too. Thanks so much for coming. See you next week for sure. Oh, thanks, Sonia. Yeah, I've lost it over like a year and a half, so I'm hoping by April that I'm at my goal weight. I was the past, like last month, I was a little bit stuck. I like kept losing like this and gaining like the same 2 pounds, but this week I was like going because my dad has one of those pools that it's like quite a small pool, but you turn the current on and it has these jets and you swim against the jets. And oh my gosh, I'm like a really strong swimmer. Like that's one thing I'm confident in saying. And when I swim against this, oh my gosh, afterwards when I get out, my arms and legs are dead. And I'm like out of breath. It's really, really strong. But I love doing it too because Jennifer Beals does like open water swimming. So I've been working on my arms to get like JB arms. And this past like 2 weeks, I've had really, really good weight loss. I've lost like 10 pounds in the last 2 weeks. And that's how I got into my Free City sweatshirt again. Oh, thanks, Roxanne. So, not this Sunday, next Sunday, the 20th, I'll be going live, but I go live every Friday. So I'll be going live next Friday, the 18th, at the same time. And then the Sunday, I'll just do like an extra hour just because I want to hang out and chat to you guys. But hopefully, I mean, if last week in my live, like we had those few pictures to go over, and then Wednesday it was like someone walked up to all the L Word fans and was just like dropped a bomb and ran away. So my daily videos are still continuing, obviously, and tomorrow there's the review one that will be coming out, and then I'm gonna do another behind the scenes one because there's some other stuff and people seem to like that one. And then I'm gonna do one that's like meta about all the stuff in Les Girls that ended up being based on real stuff. And the one that I'm really excited about doing is the one about who killed Jenny Schechter, the interrogation tapes, and the spin-off The Farm. So I'm gonna, when I swim, that's when I plan all my videos and think about what I'm gonna say in the video that day. Like all I think about when I'm swimming is L Word brain. And yeah, I was trying to think of something that I can call you guys, because I hate just saying hey you guys. And let me know what you think. Maybe this is silly, but I was thinking about calling you guys like silver stars or something. But if anyone has a good idea, let me know, because I think like hey guys is just so generic, or hey y'all is generic. So oh, thanks so much, Chicky. Yeah, it's been, oh my gosh, so hard. Sometimes I just want to eat like, I love white chocolate. That's my favorite thing. Or like Marks and Spencer's cookies. But yeah, have to be good. Oh yeah, I did see that, Ness. Do you know what? Every couple of years, those Hey Barbara, I'm glad you made it. Every couple of years, those deleted scenes, like the bat earthquake one, they make the rounds. So yeah, I saw it. I think it was on Twitter. I saw it. Oh, Sonia and Ness like the silver stars. Anyone else? Any thoughts? Let me know. I think I'm just gonna call you. Just keep calling you that. Oh, thanks, Savage. I'm so glad that you were able to make it. Oh, Jania, hey, finally made it to a live too. Yay! Yeah, I'll post this afterwards so you guys, if what you missed, you can catch up on. But yeah, okay, I think I'm gonna, yeah, my silver stars. So I'm gonna call you guys. Resting now after shouting for an hour. So, the few people who came in there, Barbara and Jania, let me know if you guys have any questions or anything, because my battery is dying. So I'm gonna be wrapping up in probably 10 minutes. What was I gonna say? Oh, thanks, Jen. That's sweet of you. I actually probably I did this a little while ago. I went back and I was looking because I want to do reviews for Generation Q episodes 1 through 5 because when I started my channel, I started because Tina coming back, and so I only did 6, 7, and 8. So I went back and I was watching, not watching, but like I looked at my first videos on on like YouTube, and yeah, it definitely makes a difference having a better mic and a better light, and oh, Janine, that's so sweet. Thanks for so much for sharing. Oh, yeah. Everyone is welcome on this channel. All that I ask is that we spread the positivity, all about the good vibes. Yes, Ness. I normally save Gogglebox and watch it on Saturday morning. That I hate reality TV, but I love Gogglebox. I love Gogglebox. It's so good. I love Pete and Sophie and the sisters Ellie and Izzy. They're my favorites. But I'll see you later, Ness. Oh yeah, Jania, you should go back and like whenever I finish this whole thing goes up as a video, and yeah, in the beginning we had some interesting chats about the whole Carrie thing and how we hope that they are basically building this whole thing to Bet and Tina because Rosie's only on the show for a little while, so hopefully. I mean, it's just sad though if like because they're like they're officially divorced, so and when they get them back together this time, they better stay back together. Like, I guess they did it with Ross and Rachel on Friends. Like, they broke up a bunch of times too. Oh, Jen, Gogglebot. I think maybe you live in America then, Jen. Gogglebox is it this okay, I am fully aware that this sounds ridiculous, but literally it's on Fridays, and what they do is TV shows from the week or like new things that have been on Netflix. There's like these families or couples or whatever, and they watch the show and then you like watch them, but it's really funny. So I know it sounds really silly, like you're watching people watch TV, and I really don't like um reality TV, but it's so funny. There is a US one and there's a celebrity US one, and there was like I think it was like Tyra Banks and all these people, but if you can find it online, I think it's on Project Free TV. It's really funny. Everyone I've told ever to watch it, they always think it's funny. I would love for them to have Pam come back to do some flashbacks. At least we could feel like she's still part of the show. That is a really good point, Chicky, because Bless This Mess, which is the reason Pam Grier couldn't do Generation Q, it was cancelled this last couple of months ago. So she absolutely what could happen is we could get a flashback to when Kit passed away and see, and then also we could get a fill-in of like the Bet and Tina storyline, what was going on then, and blah blah blah. Oh, you love Gogglebox too, Jania. Yeah, it's so good. Erin suggested coming back. Yeah, I heard her say that on Pants. I thought it was pretty valid thing, and it would be really funny too, like because I really wish that they would bring more. I know that obviously like everyone wants that, but I want Rachel Shelley back. I know we're not going to get Carmen back. Like I know that ship has sailed, but it's such a miss to have her not come back because Sarah Shahi is awesome, and yeah, Erin Daniels, Who's someone Helena? There's some really like and like none of them are like I don't think with Pam Grier, obviously she was on Bless This Mess, but now she's not. But like people like Rachel Shelley and stuff, like I'm sure if they were asked, they'd be there in a heartbeat. Oh, Follette, bye. Thanks so much for coming. Oh, yes, Deb. How could I not? I knew there was. I was like, who is the person I always say I want to come back? I was having a brain aneurysm then. Tasha, yes. Need Tasha back. Rose Rollins too. Like, we need Tasha back. And I would really like to see Molly come back. I would really like to see Sybil Shepherd, Jane Lynch, and Clementine Ford come back, and you know the whole like have Phyllis and Joyce Wishnia still be together. But I know Jane Lynch is like, you know, doing all that game shows and stuff now. Oh, Tammy, no worries. Thanks so much for coming. Jania, I was just talking about how I would love Holland Taylor to come back, and for her to come back and have Sarah Paulson as like you remember that scene where Bette goes and she's like making her case. I think it's in season 2, and Peggy Peabody's like in that spa with the robot with that Dragomir guy and the translators there and stuff, but it be Sarah Paulson. That would be amazing. And I just if I don't like Sarah Paulson, yes, you know, she's an amazing actress. She's like on all these shows, she's making crazy money, but if you were a successful actress who was out and like you were, I would do the L Word for free. I'd be like, please let me on this set and be in the show because it is like monumental. Let me on, please. And just like, even if they did her like uncredited or something, it'd be so amazing. Yeah, Molly, I think. Good shout. Good shout. Oh, Hetty, hey, I didn't see you before. Yeah, Jen. Basically all the OGs. That's my answer. Yeah, I mean it's a real gold mine for them to have Alice's show, because it's so easy for them to then have really cool guest stars come on, but have, you know, a pretty easy way to slot them into the storyline and then to use them in any way they want. But I think that I mean, I don't know how many guest stars they'll have this season because of COVID and stuff, but I'm sure they'll have one or two good ones still. I wonder, I wish they had Kamala Harris last season because they're never gonna get it now. Obviously she's got a lot of work to do. So I'll probably wrap up in a minute, guys. If there's anything else, let me know. I don't know what I put I'm not very good with the Instagram story thing, so let me show you pictures that I saw. Oh, I got these Nike, I don't know whether you can see that very well. See the Pride slides? I love them. Oh, they're so comfy. So Jacqueline Tobani, I keep saying I'm gonna buy streaming software. It's gonna be my Christmas present to myself, so I can put the pictures on the screen that you guys are looking at the same time. I just need to find a good one that's not like $1 million because they're really expensive. But Jacqueline Tobani put, if you go on my Instagram, you can see the pictures. This behind the scenes picture, it's just their trailers. And then one of the makeup artists put like this cute little. And then I also saw, let me see. Where is it? Look at my nephew and his birthday present that I got him. He loves the Hulk. He's got really long hair. So, oh yeah. So Jamie Clayton, who plays Tess, she was getting her hair done the other day too. These are all on my Instagram if you want to go see them. Leo Shag, him going back for his first day. And there was one more. Oh, Jillian Mercado, who plays Maribel. She had like a picture with like her nameplate on it. So I like, obviously I wish they'd put some pictures that were like even just the cast and stuff. Then you know, the one Leisha Haley put on with Alice and stuff, like again, they're all on my Instagram. Oh, sorry, Janine. Yeah, she will not shut up. She's been talking the whole time. So the I wish that they'd put some more pictures up, but I understand why they're not. Oh, Deb, yes. Can you imagine Laura Dern on the L Word? Dream come true. Sarah Paulson and Bet, that would be a good one. Nice. Oh, Jen, my battery's gonna die in a sec too, so we're gonna have to finish. But yeah. So just to wrap up, as I was saying, you know, if you haven't watched my Laurel video when she was on Pants, check that out. If you haven't seen my casting video where I talk about like what I'm thinking about Rosie and all that stuff, check that out too. And of course, like all my behind the scenes video, the top 10 episodes video I did, all those, check them out. 25th, I'm doing the L Word videos, and I'm sprinkling in the reviews throughout the 25 days. My hope, I'm dropping season 4 episode 11 tomorrow, so my hope is to get to season 5 episode 4, to that review to drop on Christmas Day. So that's my plan. And like I said, I've got